Welcome to the Daily Dish with Leanne Ely. This is a show about you, your life, and the vibrancy you want. Join us for daily motivation, wise women's tips, and more as we collectively gather together and move the needle in our lives, heart, mind, body, and soul. Now, here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Ooh, I'm just putting my blankie on. Hello, do you like my chin ornament? You know what that is? Happy New Year, first of all. Happy New Year. Here's my noisemaker. There it is. Happy New Year. I'm so glad you're here. Who's getting geared up and ready? Pinkies up for Saturday. So excited. Gosh, look at everybody just marching on out in here like you own the place. I see Noreen and Doris, Flynn, Marguerita's here, Lily, hello. Helen's here, Joanne, Lizzie. We got all kinds of people. This thing is moving so quick, I can't say hello. Helen, Joanne, Lizzie, Butterfly, Kimberly. Jeanette is here. Goodness, look at you all. Look at all the pinkies going up too. Love that. Martha, Jennifer's here. Lucy, Margot. Hello. It's so fun. It is like Romper Room. And there's my girl, Francesca, Karen. I'm drinking a little cup of tea right now. Look, I want to show you what my mug says. This is one of my favorite mugs that was given to me on my 60th birthday from a really fun friend. This is the beginning of anything you want. You see, I got my lipstick there and everything. I love that so much. And all this week, girlfriends, I am going to be lighting you up. You ready? Who's ready to flip that switch? See the lights go on and go, aha, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. What do you think? I love it. Lynn's here. Jocelyn's here. Vanessa's here. Are we having a party? Deborah's here. I think we're having a party. I'll tell you, I am ready. I am ready for 2022. I've had one of the most interesting weeks between Christmas and New Year's as I've been putting things together. My usual process wasn't my usual process this time, and I'm going to tell you what, you're going to be the benefactors of that. I'm going to be giving you most of it on Saturday. That's this Saturday coming up. Look, there's a pencil in my hair. There it is. I'm wondering where that went. Saturday, January 8th. We start at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Eastern. Party on, Nancy says. You bet. Cindy's in the house. Good to see you, Nancy. Virginia, look at you. Ginny, I'm so glad to see you. Here's the deal. If we want our 2022 to look different than 2021, guess what? We have to do something different. Well, you already knew that. That's not like any brand new news. But I'm going to tell you what. The thing that I have noticed is that the consistency of those who stay the course get the deal that they want at the end. Kind of going to be talking about that in today's show, which is about casting the vibrant vision of your future self, because that's what are goals anywhere except to design a future self. But we have to, before we can design a future self, we have to cast the vision of what we want that to look like. Michelangelo, as you know, did so many drawings of everything that he eventually sculpted. Then he saw into that great big piece of marble what it could be. And that's what I want you to see. I want you to see 2022 as your great big piece of marble, but not without first casting your vision, not without first sketching it out in detail. Today, I'm going to help you do that just a little bit, I hope. Hi, Macy. I'm glad you're here. Jane is in the house. Look at you all here. I'm going to help you all with that. So, buckle up and let's go, because it's going to be really fun, I think. I think it's really fun to look forward to. What do I have to look forward to? What can my future hold for me? How can I make things a little bit different? Here's what I did right. Here's the things I need to shift a little bit. Makes a big difference. And it makes us feel so much better and so more connected with who we truly, truly are deep down. Because, unfortunately, sometimes what happens is that who we are isn't showing up in what we're doing. And when that happens, boy, you feel really out of sorts. I'll tell you, you feel really out of sorts. So I'm done with that, aren't you? So let's get on with it. Let me tell you a couple things that you have to look forward to. This week we're giving away, well, we're not giving it away. Well, we are giving you one. If you buy 2 Leptafixes, we will give you the third one absolutely free. And you notice it's only 2 this time. Well, there's 120 caps in this bottle. The serving size is 1. I take 2. I think that's made a difference. I'm going to tell you why I think Leptafix is so important. First of all, great big secret to getting a handle on this whole weight loss thing, if that's on your list this year, or just to start feeling more in control about what's on the end of your fork and what you're putting into your mouth, is getting a handle on your hunger hormones. We all know what ghrelin is, right? Anyone ever feel just out of control with your eating and just keep eating more and just wishing you could make better decisions and all of that? Well, that's ghrelin. But leptin, on the other hand, that's the little angel sitting on your shoulder saying, oh, we've had enough. Maybe you don't want to take this. What you're going to do here and what you're going to do there, it all makes a difference on what your leptin is saying. Now, leptin lives in your fat. It's a hormone that actually lives in your fat. And as you lose weight, guess what? Leptin gets more and more crazy. It stops talking to you, which is really a very big disappointment, because as we're losing weight, so that we don't step back on the carousel of crazy and make this big loop again, we need to keep going, right? This is what Leptafix does. You take it on an empty stomach every morning. I know Vanessa takes hers in the morning too. It does make a difference because it allows leptin to do its job. It wakes leptin up and says, hey, we're not done here. And I'm telling you, that's massive. If we can get ghrelin in control and put ghrelin, tamp down the ghrelin and up the leptin, we have a control of our hunger hormones. That's a big deal. Speaking of hunger hormones, who today is sprinting? First sprint of the year. If you're a sprinter, put your pinkies up. It's time to sprint, y'all. Boy, do we need this or what? I am so glad to say goodbye to the wine and all the rest of it and all the other food. You know, it's just time to get back to basics and feeling good in our skin again. We love the comfort foods, don't we? We love all the stuff that the holidays bring, but we don't necessarily love the aftermath. And that's what we're talking about. Especially right now is a really good time for a cleanup. So let's do that. The Hot Melt Sprint, you can find all the information. You can find the guide. It's all free, y'all, at savingdinner.com/sprint. The guide is there. You can print it out. There's 18 pages. There's some recipes there. There's everything that's going to help you and give you sort of the philosophy and the basic reason why we're doing this. Print it out. Smart idea. Print it out. There's also a webinar there. You can watch the webinar and understand the science behind all of it and understand why you're doing what you're doing. I think that makes a difference. To me, it's like, well, share with me. Tell me why I want to do this in the first place. I created the Hot Melt Sprint based on the principles. I didn't create a sprint and look for principles. I said, what are the principles of weight loss? What are we trying to accomplish? Well, for a lot of us, less pain, because that's no surprise, right? We don't want to feel good. We don't want to feel bad. This will help us to feel good. We want to feel better in our skins. We want more energy. We want to do the things that we want to do. We want vibrant lives. That's exactly how the sprint was created. Those are the principles behind it. Highly recommend, especially if you've never done it, savingdinner.com/sprint. You will find it eye-opening and you will find what a difference it makes. So we have that. We also have the supplement of the week. I told you about that. Inner Circle will begin on February 8th. It's open now. Anybody can join. We're almost out of seats. savingdinner.com/circle for all the information. You will like that. What else? What else can I tell you about? Well, of course, Creating a Vibrant 2022 is on Saturday. savingdinner.com/vibrant 2022. And all I can say is go look at the link if you were wondering what it's about, because this is not your basic, oh, let's make goals. No, this is more about let's get a grip on how do we tee this up? How do we make this happen? That's how this whole thing is about. Let's see. Where's the rest of it? Okay, here's the quote of the week. Before you hold a grudge, hold a conversation. Thank you, Mel, for that. I mean, duh, right? But you would be surprised how many people can't do that. How many people are just incapable of moving beyond seventh grade? You know, some people, we're humans. We have problems. We bring our problems with us. And sometimes it comes spilling out in a relationship. Well, if you value the relationship, you have a discussion, right? Yeah, that's what we do. That's what loving people do. That's what kind people do, and compassionate people, all that. And I'm calling you to that level of vibrant living. We have our full bloom skincare. You can find that at savingdinner.com/skincare. Let me just tell you, all of our skincare is amazing. All of our skincare is something you don't want to miss, because this is skincare so clean you could eat. Not only that, it's a massively effective, great skincare. And if you buy the whole thing, we are going to send you this little creamy whippy doodah day. If you buy all 8 pieces, there are 8 pieces to the skincare kit. And wait till you see it. It lasts forever. It just does amazing things to your job, to your skin, and you're going to love it. You know, there's slight fragrance from something that's naturally in there, no added fragrance. So you'll like that. And this little thingy, the skincare guide, will tell you exactly how to use it, because there's different things that you use in the morning and night. Isn't that fun? All right. That's all I have to tell you. Let's get busy. Let's get down to it. Jennifer, I'm glad you're here. She's late to the party, but she's here. Parties are important. And speaking of the party, we're having a party. For those of you who opted to VIP it, we're having a party on Friday. You're going to want that Friday night. We're going to be getting together. You get an extra bottle of Vibrant Body Detox. So you have extra detox. And I'll tell you how personally, how I would use that if I were you. That's number 1. And 2, we're just going to get together and have a fun girl time and meet and greet each other without the wine, because it's a sprint week, right? But it'll be fun. I'm really glad you're here. So this week we're going to be talking, I'm going to give you 4 things, by the way, this whole week. We're going to start with number 1 today, because remember, we will not be here on Saturday. We will be workshopping with all of our lovelies who are attending the Vibrant 2022 workshop. So this week I'm teeing it up to get ready for the workshop, because I found the more prepared I am, the better off I am able to really implement the ideas that I start getting. When I go to a workshop myself, when I attend something or I'm reading a book, especially a book I really want to hear, I will listen to it audibly. I'll get out the pencil, I'll get out the highlighter, and I will write notes as I'm going. I'm listening to it, I'm reading it, I'm reading along as I go, and I'm writing it out. You know why? Because I want to learn. I want to get what is there out. I want to extrapolate every last bit of yumminess from the material that I'm learning, so that I can actually do something with it. And this is my call to you, that you can do the very same thing. You can take everything that you want to become, and you can look at it from that same perspective. What can I do with this? How does this affect my future self? Because that's what this whole week is about, is creating the vibrant vision of what it is that you want to become the most vibrant self that you can. This is your future self that we're looking at. We're looking at January 3rd, 2023. Who is that woman? What have you done this year? And I think this is something, not that we hate the 2021 version of ourselves, but it's so that we can say, I didn't accomplish X in 2021. And instead of beating yourself up and going through this whole, I had this, we do one of 2 things, or a mixture of both, which is 1, blame and shame ourselves or others around us for why we didn't accomplish it. Or 2, we rationalize and excuse it. Well, this year, what happened this year. And no wonder I didn't, because blah, blah, blah. And I want to just put it down out here for you instead of doing either one of those, because the blame and shame stuff never works. Has it ever for you? Not never for me. And also rationalizing it either, that's not helpful. It is never helpful because everything scoots you and creates a nice little comfort zone barrier from having to do something a little uncomfortable so that you can become the woman that you've been called to become, by the way, which I believe we're all called. So let's start with first what Nietzsche said. He said, he who has a why to live for can almost bear any how. How about she? Let's put an S there. You notice I'm making notes here. She who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. And I say don't get hung up on the how, except sometimes we know that the how, boy, you know what that how is going to mean. You know that that how is going to mean an increase in time, on your Peloton bike, or you're going to know that an increase of time on planning your meals instead of just doing something easy and convenient. And maybe you don't really want that exactly, but we have to know about these things because we need to know that, yes, it's going to require a little bit more, but we don't have to do it all in one day. What we do need to do, though, however, is start looking at our comfort zones, because those comfort zones, believe me, we all do this. And we talked about procrastination a little bit last week, which I thought there was such an interesting idea that procrastination is not laziness. It's merely a coping skill. That's all it is. And what procrastination does is it's the comfort zone having us not have to meet that goal or have to do that thing that's hard, to have to change something that we've been doing for a long, long time. Our comfort zones are the thing that we're used to. Our comfort zones is finally, click, there goes the Netflix, Our comfort zones are the things that keep us walled in to what it is that we've always done. And if we want change and if we want something different, boy, are we going to have to do something different. We can't stay in the comfort zone. And it's what we seek first. It's the first thing that we seek. That's what procrastination does. As soon as we say, okay, we're going to go do this, and this is when we're going to go do it, there's, oh no, comfort zone, bring you back. Come back. Let's turn on Netflix instead. And that is something we just need to be willing to march out of. Let go of comfort zones. Let go of them entirely, because that's limiting what our future self could be if we're so attached to our comfort zones. Joe Dispenza says, and this is a quote that I keep, well, it's under here, but it's a quote that I keep on my phone. And boy, this is incredible. This is the thing that just makes you go boing. It's kind of the Bugs Bunny eyeballs that pop out of your head. And he said this is how powerful. If we wait for anything outside of us to make us healthy, wealthy, or happy, we're back at the unconscious program of being a victim of our environment. And you remember last week, we talked about change your environment, right? BJ Fogg, there's just one way to radically change your behavior, and that's to change your environment. Well, we're victims of our environment when we allow our environments to push us around, when we allow our environment to basically trump the very thing that it is that we want. And we find ourselves in these uncomfortable, frustrating loops of back and forth and back and forth. It's exhausting because not only, is your brain all wrapped around this back and forth thing, that's the mental fatigue that we have, but it's also frustrating because it oftentimes comes out in another way. We get frustrated with a kid. We get frustrated with our jobs. We get overly frustrated with something. And the frustration that we have, it isn't with all these extenuating circumstances. It's really with ourselves because we haven't lived up to the things that we said that we're going to do. We've broken our promises. We haven't stood in our own integrity. And then we've gone around and blamed, well, these kids and my parents, well, I've got this, my job, and I got all this other stuff. And once I get the house done, once I get this done. And when we put ourselves off like that, we're putting our future self off. It's not just about well, tomorrow you'll get to it or whatever. We're excusing ourselves from living the vibrant lives that we want to live today, tomorrow, and every day forward. Because our future self is important, and our future self requires getting out of the comfort zone, period. And according to Joe Dispenza, it also there's an unconscious program playing in the background. This is powerful stuff. And the biology of belief, same thing. Bruce Lipton talks about this whole unconscious program thing. 95% of our lives are living in the unconscious realm. 95%. Everything's automatic pilot. Just automatically sit down, go to the pantry, grab the Oreos, pop open a can of Coke. This is what I do every single night. If it's what you do every single night, that's a comfort zone. Busting out of that, it's going to take deliberate practice. So this is the work that we're going to be doing is casting that vision for ourselves. And we've got some prep work to do. I am here to tell you right now that you don't have to unconsciously live your life anymore if you don't want to. You don't have to live in that place of going, okay, just what happened? Oh my gosh, look at how the time has fled. Oh my gosh, we've lost this whole year. Oh my gosh, I've lost my whole life. We don't have to do that if we choose not to. That's a decision, by the way, to do that. So I've got several things that I've been contemplating as I go through all of my stuff. And that's what I did this whole past week. And I really had some interesting things because instead of just saying, and this year I'm going to, and this, I matched up what I did last year with how I'm going to improve that so that I can go forward into 2022. In other words, there was some inconsistencies. I shared that with you last week that I was a little disappointed in. And then there's some other things too that I saw that contributed mightily to some significant growth. And so what I noticed was it was all contingent on vibrant vision. The vision's everything. And I've shared with you a number of times my vision board from 2018 that I made that just absolutely, that ironclad. I want a house on the water with a boat and a dock. How many times have I said that? And I've said that here. And I tell you this again because that's what all of these things are attached to. We attach to something. And more importantly, we attach emotionally to that something because that's the thing that becomes vibrant in our heads. So let's talk about that. First of all, like I said, there's 4 things. We're only unloading one of them. So you got to come back tomorrow for number 2 and Wednesday for 3 and Thursday for 4. How do you like that? And the reason why we're doing that is because I really want to tee this. I want you to be ready for Saturday. We've got so many people coming on Saturday. And I want you to leave Saturday afternoon at 5 o'clock when it's all said and done. I want you to leave. I want you to be lit up like the sky on the 4th of July. That's how excited I am about it. But in order to do that, I want you need to be walking in there with a really vibrant vision of what it is that you see for your life, how it is that you want to see yourself on January 3rd, 2023. Deal? All right, first things first. You need to define down to detail. That's number 1. This is number 1. I've kind of been talking about that, but let's just write it down. What your January 3rd, 2023 vision of yourself looks like. What does that version of you look like? What does it look like? Not just physically, but what do you look like? So you've heard this term for future self before. I'm sure you have. It's bandied around just like mind hacks and all this other kind of stuff. But I think it's a good one because you think future self. It's easy. You know exactly what you're talking about. But I believe that for me, what I look at it can spark a lot of possibility, and it can be the seeds for creativity. Okay, if that's what I'm seeing, then how do I get there? Right? How do I get there? Well, Brendon Burchard says our future selves, in order to accomplish the future self, we just have to start with a couple of basic notions. And the first one is be, do, and have. Three. There's three things. But it's to be, it's to do, and then you can have. So in other words, we if we're going to show up as who we want to be, then we dress like her, we eat like her, we talk like her, Do you remember the Patty Duke show? Anyone old enough to remember that? I just remember watching it on reruns when we got home from school. And Patty Duke would wear her hair all flipped up, and she was kind of a ditzy American, right? And her what was on Tuesday, her cousin from England was there, and she wore her hair underneath, and of course spoke in an English accent. But the whole thing was they were complete opposites of each other. We have to, in other words, we have to be exactly who it is that we want to be. Now, these two were opposites of one another. You have to decide, who are you today? Who are you today, and where do you want to go? Because maybe there's two of you. Maybe you are the same. Maybe there's part of you that's the Patty Duke with the flippy hairdo, and the other part of you is the Patty Duke with the underdo. Anybody remember that show? Come on. I'm not the only one who watched that on reruns after school, did I? But, we have to have her attributes, our future self's attributes. We have to have hers. We can't do it with our comfort zone wrapped around us. Jane said, Patty Duke was my idol. I wanted to be ditzy. That's so much fun. So in order to do this, we have to have our attributes. So let's just walk through what that means. We have to decide that we're going to bear with the how, no matter, as Nietzsche says, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. Nobody is happy about maybe getting up earlier. Nobody's happy with having spent more time working out or whatever it is. Nobody's just saying, yay, delightful, let's go do this. Not necessarily. But we decide we're going to bear with it anyway. Part of being uncomfortable is being okay with being uncomfortable. And being uncomfortable is what gets us to that place of becoming that next version. It's never simple. Birth wasn't simple, was it? You think about all the different things that you did consistently to get yourself something. Now, something you're going to laugh when I share this to you, but I'm going to show you. But if you can, I don't know if you could see my eyelashes, but one thing that I did consistently, because I had a girlfriend who told me she did this, and she put castor oil on her eyelashes consistently. And I was like, wow, I like that better than all the other garbage that's out there. And I've started castor oiling my eyelashes consistently, and suddenly they have just taken off and grown like gangbusters. Same thing with beauty support. I used to be bald right there. I am not anymore. Look at all this hair, right? Consistently taking beauty support. I used to have aches and pains in my hands. And it was when I found out about SAME, I started taking SAME every day on an empty stomach with my Leptofix every single morning. And guess what? I don't have carpal tunnel anymore. I don't have all of that stuff. SAME made a difference for me. So the consistency is something that we can look for that will help us to decide, are we going to bear with the how to get the result that we're seeking? Do you want longer eyelashes? Say yes, go get the castor oil. Do you want more hair? Take your beauty support morning and night like I do and watch yourself get more hair. What do you want? And watch how this happens. Same thing with muscles, same thing with weight loss, same thing with everything. We've watched our Tanya, I don't know even how many pounds she's lost at this point, but it's just consistency. You look at her posts, day 285 or whatever of hot milk, doing the hot milk sprint. She's there. She's posting consistently. She went out of her comfort zone, and that took her to the place of another thing that I have that was written by Brenda Burchard that I'm going to share with you in a little bit because it's super important. Hey there, Angeli. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us today. So we also have to decide to leave the comfort zones that have held us back. Now, not everything has held you back. in your life. Not everything. But we have to see what they truly are. Most comfort zones, what they truly are, is this great, big, huge, puffy, round thing that blocks what our vision could be for ourselves. Our comfort zones keep us from seeing what could be. What could be. To be the next Tanya with that success story. To be the next girl with the long eyelashes. Consistency will get you there, but the vision's got to get cast first. And the second thing that I brought out of this whole thing is what Dr. Dispenza says, and that is that vision for yourself, it's already there. Did you know that? It's already there. What you want. Don't be afraid of what you want. Don't be afraid to cast that vision. Don't be afraid to let somebody say to you, "Oh, you'll never do that." You know, if I listened to that, I'd still be 237 pounds, you know, and that's what my doctor said. You're never going to lose this weight. You're always, this is the way it is. And I just wouldn't accept it. Nope, that's not going to happen. Did you see what Lizzie said? This is my second year not dieting. And this is probably the second year that you've been getting results. So pinkies up for Lizzie. This is what it is. And I'm going to tell you right now, Tanya doesn't diet either. What Tanya's done is she's taken Hot Milk Sprint principles and applied them to her lifestyle. Because you want to hear one of my biggest peeves, by the way, and this is just a sidebar. One of my biggest peeves is somebody say, okay, I lost all this weight now. What's the maintenance plan? There is no freaking maintenance plan. You know what it is? It's you keep doing what kept giving you results. Your body's going to turn it down. Your body's going to get to the place that it needs to be. You're going to have you're going to reset that set point. And then you're going to be able to go through your life without weighing and measuring, peeing on sticks, hoping that you've got your whatever. I mean, you're just going to be able to just do it. Just do it. I've seen this too with you, Jocelyn. Jocelyn just does it. You know, a lot of you I've seen this with. You just do it. You show up every single day and you just do it. You don't look for the comfort zone. You say, no, to heck with the comfort zone. Lynn's done it. Joanne's done it. I've seen it. I've seen it in them. This is how it's done. And then guess what? Sometimes we get on the carousel of crazy again. And sometimes we just fall apart again. And then you know what? We don't need to be beating ourselves up. We don't need to, we don't need to go back there and say, oh, why did I do this? And here I was, and now I'm here, and what am I going to do? What we need to do is say to ourselves this: you've already done it once. It's time to do it again. Maybe you've done it twice. It doesn't matter. The fact is when you know, you know. And when you've made up your mind, you make up your mind. And when you have seen the pattern and you've just even experienced this modicum of success, guess what? You do that daily, you're going to experience all of the success. That's how it works. Because I'm going to tell you right now, and pinkies up, no one wants to be on a diet for the rest of your life. And if you think the Hot Milk Sprint is a diet, you are dead wrong. Do you know why you're wrong? Because all the Hot Milk Sprint is doing is unplugging you from inflammation and giving you different choices. Because I'll tell you what, you're going to see some food and different things like that on the Hot Milk Sprint. There's a whole bunch of stuff, though. There's a whole bunch of things that I bet you didn't know. How important it is to hydrate your body. How important it is to move. I bet you didn't know the why behind all of it, though. Did you? And once we get a grip of that and start on that, watch how it changes. Everything changes because then it becomes automatic, right? It becomes automatic. It becomes exactly what it was. Where is this? Can I find this? Where did he put it? Oh, I had it here a minute ago. Yeah. First, it's an intention. Then it's a behavior. Then it's a habit. Then it's a practice. Then it's second nature. Then it's just simply who you are. And I would pin this Medal of Honor on a whole bunch of you sprinters out there who've done this, maintained it, and kept it going. Because that's what it is. It starts out with an intention. It always starts with an intention. And what's behind that intention except a vibrant vision of ourselves, of what we want, right? So creating a vibrant vision isn't a bunch of fun words for like your fun word of the year. You can have a fun word of the year. I certainly do. I've got unstoppable. I've shared that with you. I just listened to a song by Sia. Is that how you say her name? With Unstoppable. And she says, I'm unstoppable as a Porsche without brakes. Love it. That's me. Unstoppable without it. I love it. But this is who we're going to be. I want to see myself better in 2022 than I was in 2021, right? Pinkies up. Don't you? I know you do. Of course you do. This is why we're here. This is part of the whole thing. So, yes, go ahead and get a word of the year and have it figure out how to incorporate it in and what have you. But it's not just unicorns and flowers and hearts and words of the year. It's action. It's the doing part. It's the part of you showing up and saying, you know what? To hell with my comfort zone. I'm done with that. Looking at our comfort zones instead of looking at them as the soft, cushy couches that we're leaving, we look at them as traps, like a bear trap. Like you put your arm in there and it's going to suck you in. We don't want to be trapped. We want to be whole. We don't want to be trapped. We want to move forward. We want that. And guess what? Becoming the most vibrant version of yourself requires that you are deliberate, that you're orderly, that you're consistent on fleshing out and capturing and personally defining exactly what it is that you want. And that means there's going to be emotion behind it. There's going to be feelings behind it. There's going to be as much visual stuff. You can smell, you can scratch and sniff your way through if you want to, listen, hear. Everything about everything needs to be lined up in order, on track, to get exactly what you want. And you know what? I want you to look at this too. It's a ball of energy. It is a great, big, huge ball of energy if you choose to plug into that. So yeah, if you're not emotionally plugged into it, I'm going to tell you what, you're probably emotionally not going to get there. Anybody cry at their wedding? Anyone? It was an emotional situation, right? Here you are pledging to your spouse to be true to this person for the rest of your life. And you're laying down vows and you're saying all kinds of stuff. And here it is. It's the moment. And there you are at the altar. Anyone cry over that? It was a life-changing event. What if we came to the altars of our lives right now and we had a life-changing event? We had a vibrant vision of what this marriage to our heart, minds, and bodies and souls will look like. What if we did that? Because I want to say to you this, your present self is going to go to battle with you to take you down, to say, oh, no, you don't. Don't you mess with my couch, right? Don't you mess with my couch. And I want you to say to your present self who's arguing with you, that is not a couch. That's a trap. That is a trap. Because what we do is this. We have defined ourselves with who we think we are. But I'm a night owl. But I'm an introvert. But I'm not a cook. I just hate vegetables or whatever. Do you see how all of these things are? And the more we say them, the more we line ourselves up with them, the more we convince ourselves that there is just no room for change. And if there's no room for change, you're stuck exactly where you are. That doesn't change. That doesn't shift. That's just, there you are. So don't come crying to me when you fall off that thing, like my mother used to say. But the more resistant and defensive we are about protecting and keeping our present selves, the more emotionally and definitively we need to create a future self. I want you to hear this again, okay? The more emotionally and definitively you describe and defend your present self, the more it is that you need to take that emotion and that definitiveness and create your 2022. Because the old self doesn't like change. The old self doesn't want future self. The old self wants to keep things going just the way it is. And then the less, if you stay with that comfort zone, the less you have to give that future self, the less vision you'll have, the less emotion you'll have. Okay? I hope you've written that one down. I hope you've written that down. And please understand, I am not saying to go through and ditch who you are and just show, go dye your hair blonde or dye your hair black or something and just show up completely different. I'm not saying to do that. I'm not suggesting that in it at all. But I will tell you, with an honest evaluation and a detailed analysis of what happened in 2021 and what didn't get accomplished that you wanted to get accomplished, you're going to find that you've run to your comfort zone every single time. And you know what? You know what the number one deathbed regret is with people? You know what it is? It's that they didn't have the courage to be themselves, because they've always done everything else for everyone else. They're people pleasers all the way. And I want you to have the courage to become, not just to be the true of yourself, to be the true, very best version of yourself. And we do this by we plan and do intentional goals. That's how we do this. We get vibrant about it, because our word vibrant, which is everything, it just makes you tingle. It makes you feel it. It's not just about, well, this is cool, let's go and do this. It's not about that. It's about everything inside of you that just can't wait to be that woman. Because you've been called on purpose and for purpose. And to do that, you got to show up as the best version of yourself. You can't do that with just like, yeah, I'll get to it, after I'm done binge watching this series on Netflix. Super guilty of that. I mean, I did so many. Ted Lasso being my last one, of course, we all like that. But is that what our lives are? What are we here to do? What are we here to accomplish? If we're going to live our lives on purpose and for purpose, we need to be able to see it. We need to feel it, put our arms around what that is. And like I've said so many times, most of us are living in certain seasons of our lives. You might have little kids at home. You might be taking care of an elderly parent. That is a season of your life. That is not a stopping place from you becoming the very best version of yourself. That just means you're called for such a time as this. And it will change. I promise you, children grow up. Parents pass away. But who you are is all you've got for today. That's all you've got. Are you the best version of yourself? Do you see what I see in you? Do you want to be that woman? So the first the assignment that I have for you, I want you to start thinking about this so that we can get ready for tomorrow, is defining in vibrant detail what you want. 100% critical, 100%. What do you want? I mean, what do you want? Ask yourself this. On January 3rd, 2023, 1 year from today, who do I want to be? What kind of a woman do I want to be? I want to be a woman of my word. I want to be a woman of integrity. I want to be consistently showing up daily in my life. I want to take the action that I say I'm going to take. I want to become and be the woman of my own dreams, the queen of my life. Number 2, what are my relationships like? That was a big one on my list of wanting, my relationships to just be everything, of wanting them to, everyone in my orbit to feel a special touch from me, right? A special touch. In order to have relationships like that, you've got to be present in them. They don't just happen. You have to create that. Well, the next question you have to ask yourself is, what am I focused on? Are you focused on all the reasons you can't? Are you focused on, well, I am such and such a person? I despise that. I hate it when people say, well, I'm a night owl. I'm a night person. I'm a tea person. I'm a coffee person. I'm a this person. No, you're not. You're a person who happens to like tea or coffee. Don't identify so strongly. And people do this too they do it with food. They do it with diseases. They do it with this. It's time to identify as a strong Amazon queen woman fierce, boom, boom. Wonder Women. We need to start identifying with strengths, not weaknesses, not food, not some disease. That's who we need to start identifying on. That's what we need to focus on. We need to focus on the things we want and go after that. What does my life look like? Where am I going? Getting in my car, what do I feel like? Remember when I first lost weight and I was driving and I had my arm extended, it was summer, I had my t-shirt on, it was a tank top, and I saw the definition of my arms for the first time in forever. And I remember thinking, that's what I want. I want those strong arms. I want arms that have muscles in them that don't say, I can't lift anything, where I got to go find somebody to lift the dog food for me. That was just me. You make a decision. Who do I look like? What do I look like? Do I look strong? Am I confident? Am I wearing something that is attractive, or am I wearing the same old dumpy stuff? Am I doing something that's, that shows who I am? Am I strong? Is my body say I'm strong and taken care of? Or is my body saying, yeah, I just kind of gave up? Ask yourself that. And then the last thing is the most important thing. How do you feel? This is a container that contains all of the things that's inside of us. It's a container. But if this container is not taken care of, then what the heck? What the heck? If you don't take care of yourself and the container and get yourself to the place of optimal living, using this body, because it's your only vehicle you have, the only thing that's going to take you from place to place, then you're going to be living half-assed lives with a half-assed effort. You can't. It requires a whole lot more, and you got to step into that. So one of the things, I've got homework for you. You ready for this? Are you ready? Here it is. Describe your typical future self day in detail and include your emotions and your feelings. I want you to describe your home, your body, your work, your people, and see it all. Play music that applies. I told you I found that song from Sia that's called Unstoppable. Not in love with it yet, but it's got the right lyrics because I'm a Porsche without brakes. Unstoppable. And the bottom line is we cannot live intentionally on purpose and for purpose if we're just going with the flow. Nope, can't. Won't work. We have to create our own waves. We have to be unstoppable, right? Maybe even a tsunami. And that requires what Brendon Burchard says. At first, it's an intention. Then it's a behavior. Then it's a habit. Then it's a practice. Then it's second nature. And then it's just intrinsically who we are. Just intrinsically who we are. I know you don't want to live the same year as you lived last year. I don't. I want to see things improve. I saw some progress last year, but I haven't seen the progress that I want to see. I have things that I want to get done. So if you're ready to live a truly vibrant vision of what you want, then do the homework that I just mentioned. And tomorrow we're going to be looking at the next part of creating that vibrant vision of your future self by investing and what it means to invest in yourself. Because this is a game changer and changed everything that I saw. When I started investing in my relationships, for example, instead of just saying, hoping that they went well, they started to improve dramatically. So meanwhile, it's not too late to get on the action for Saturday. Because if you think, this is juicy, wait till you see what happens on Saturday. It's going to blow you away. Saturday, this Saturday coming up, we start at 9 a.m. Eastern. Yep, I know that's early for my West Coasters, but it doesn't stop them. They'll show up. I hope you do. savingdinner.com/vibrant 2022. Margaret, I just saw that you joined. I'm so glad you're here. Anyway, invest in yourself. Invest in your future self and watch what happens. Peace be with you. I will see you tomorrow for the next part. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Check back for new episodes. If you missed the live show, you can always watch the replay. You can find Saving Dinner on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Until next time, pinkies up.